I'm an immigrant to this country. I came from a little provincial village in south central Italy, just east of Rome. Came out here when I was just under 2 on a boat. Took 23 days. The SS Marconi, I still remember it. Not from back then, but I remember it since then. So I came here from peasant parents. My parents were peasant. We came to this new country and they saw the opportunities in a country like this. Of course, we didn't know any different. We were children. To the best of their ability, they raised us, in the best way they could. But they certainly didn't know anything about school and all that sort of stuff. So we had to pretty much learn that ourselves. I think deep down I've always wanted to be a teacher. One of the earliest memories I have as a child was in my house in North Perth in the backyard, drawing a blackboard. I know that probably seems unfamiliar to you guys. We have whiteboards and smartboards, but we had blackboards back in the day with chalk. I drew one on the picket fence in my backyard, and I proceeded to teach any stray cat or teddy bear that I had. So that was as far back as I can remember. So in me, there was always that will to be a teacher in one form or another.
So we know about one of your stories called Somewhere in Australia. What first inspired that story and where did the idea begin?
That idea began in the 16th century. It was based on an old song called Over in the Meadow. It's an old English song from the 16th century. In 1870, I think someone wrote it down, and it's been sung and written about ever since then. But when I was living in the United States, I was on a road trip with my wife and my oldest son at the time, and we had a book called Way Out in the Desert or something like that, and it was based on that Over in the Meadow song. And I remember looking at that and thinking, my gosh, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think to write that? And then I thought, I can do that. I can do it for Australia. And literally on that road trip, it was from San Francisco to Portland, Oregon, pretty much wrote itself on that road trip. So I would write at night while my wife and son slept, and the next day I'd bounce it off them. And but it was so easy. And I think the very first verse, I guess, I wrote was verse 2, in the centre of Australia near a place called Uluru, was a mother kookaburra and a little chicks too. So it's a rhythmic and rhyming book. And it's very good for educational purposes to rhyme and then consolidate by repeating some of those words again. And of course, it goes from 1 to 10, so it's counting as well. So it's viewed as, and not my idea to start with, but whoever came up with it in the first instance, I don't know, in the 16th century, that was a very good way to teach kids how to count and how to read as well. So it just made sense to do. I've tried for other countries. I've tried for Africa. It just doesn't work, because not only do you have to have the rhythmic and rhyming component and the numbers, but you've got to be correct in the number of offspring. So a kangaroo usually only has one joey at a time, even though there's others in the pouch, in stasis. But then the kookaburra will have 2 or 3. So it had to. So when you try to do that with Africa or something like that, most animals will only have 1. If you think, lions maybe 2 or 3, but rhinoceroses and those sorts of things, it's really hard to do. So Australia was perfect for it. With that book and with I've written 6 books and I think 70 odd papers, scientific papers and magazine articles and all that. The thing I want to do, and like I was saying before, is try to impart as much knowledge as I can. Now, Somewhere in Australia has 360 words in it, and I was hoping that it would impart 3,600 bits of information. So I'm trying to cram in as much as I possibly can. I am very proud of that book, I really am. I knew straight off the cuff that it was a good book. I knew straight away. And I pitched it to a few different publishers, but Scholastic, I was really pleased when they picked it up, because Scholastic is the largest publisher of children's books around the world. And so that's quite an indictment, if you know what I mean. It's like, wow, that's pretty good. They've accepted this book and it's done very well. I know it's done very well for them. And so, there are plenty of people who have narrated it or have read it online. It's quite surreal, actually, to watch people talk about or read your book, and you don't know these people. And just to watch some nice, there is, for the most part, 99% of of the reviews are very positive. So I have seen people buy it in bookshops, and my sons and my wife have said, "Oh, go and tell them it's your book and sign it." I don't. I feel rather sheepish about that. But yeah, I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of it. And like I said, it's the gift that keeps giving to me.